Hello friends, welcome back to the journey of osteology. Yesterday in a previous lecture we studied about the basic difference first of all between the osteology and orthopedics. Can you briefly anyone describe what is the mean by osteology? Osteology? What is osteology? Study of bones, whereas the orthopedics means it's a branch of medicine, okay. The basic difference we saw in the previous lecture is that the osteology only deals with study the normal structure of bones, along with not only it deal with the human bones, it also study the some of the comparative study for paleontological purpose and other purpose. We seen that orthopedics is a branch of medicine, is a specialized branch of medicine which deals with the normal structure of bones as well as the normal function of bone and the abnormalities associated with the bone. Understood? Then we move ahead in previous lecture and we discussed about the basic difference between the bones and cartilage. We defined that bone and the cartilage are which kind of tissue? Connective tissue. Which kind of connective tissue? It's a specialized connective tissue. The fundamental difference between the bone and cartilage is rigid. Cartilage is rigid, soft. It's a soft, and bone is hard. Because it is a soft means it is a flexible, and bone is a rigid. Because it's a hard. Who makes the, we can say, those cartilage as a soft? Chondrion substance. It's make the cartilage soft. Then we classified cartilages as a two groups. Hyaline cartilage, very good, and what? Fibrous cartilage. Then we defined fibrous cartilage into the two groups. The first group is white fibrous cartilage and next group is yellow fibrous cartilage, okay. Then we move ahead and define the bone, okay. Bone is the hardest cell tissue, very good. Bones is the hardest tissue, okay. It consists of mainly which element? Bone is a reservoir of which element? Calcium. Very good. It's a calcium, okay. Then we define something is dried bone and decalcified bone. Understood? Then we move ahead and we seen the microscopic structure of the bone. For a study of the microscopic structure of bone, first we need to study the transverse section of the bone. First we have to understand the transverse section of bone. Then we seen the microscopic structure of bone. Okay? Till here, any doubt? You have any doubt? No? Now, in today's class, as you seeing the heading, we will deal with how bone is formed in our body. Since in the previous class we discussed that we developed in our mother's womb as a fetus. First a skeleton which appear is not a bone, is a cartilage. We had already a brief, we can say detailed discussion over that, okay. So now today we will see that there are some bones, there are some type of bone formation where this cartilage is changed into the bone, okay. And in some of the conditions the hyaline tissue they will change into the bone. So mainly in today's class we will deal with how bone will form in our body, okay. How bone is formed in our body. So I will introduce you with the lecture outline. Today we will first deal with the introduction, okay. Then we will see that what is the difference between the bone ossification and bone remodeling. Okay, bone ossification and bone remodeling, they are the two different aspects, okay. So we will deal with it also. Then we will see the development of bone, okay, Then we will see the type of bone formation, okay, and then we will see some of the pathophysiology, okay, like rickets, osteomalacia, okay, then some of the hormonal problem diseases called acromegaly. Probably you heard about these diseases, okay. That's our today's lecture outline. So first I started with the bone ossification. As I said, bone ossification means it's a process. It's a process of formation of bone. It's a process of formation of bone, okay. Bone ossification is also known as, anyone? Bone ossification is also known as osteogenesis. Write down. Osteogenesis. Osteogenesis. Understood? Osteogenesis. Wherever in textbook you come across the word genesis, it means production. It means production. Understood? Osteo denotes bone. Osteo denotes bone, and genesis means production. So basically it's the production of bone, or we can say the formation of bone. Understood? Now, second point related about the bone ossification, or we can say the osteogenesis, is it's a universal. It's a universal as far as the vertebral is concerned. You know, like mammals possess the vertebra, the bone, okay. Mammals possess the bones, whereas the lower creatures, they will not have the bone-like structure. Is you seen any bone in the ants? There is a cartilage. Cartilage is present in the. You seen bone in the bacteria? No. So any microscopic organism, they won't possess or they won't carry the bone. Okay, they won't carry the bone. Okay, so osteogenesis is universal in mammals. It's a universal in mammals, or we can say the vertebrates. In the vertebrates, it's a universal process in vertebrates. Understood? No any doubt? Clear? Now, you know that when we are in our mother womb, okay, mother uterus, we are in our mother uterus, on that very time, there is a, after the fertilizations, all those process as we discussed in the previous class, there is a embryogenesis. There is a embryogenesis, okay, an expression of a one stem cell. I previously told you that is called the mesenchymal cells. Did you remember? Mesenchymal cell. So basically bone formation need one template. Bone formation need template. Okay? Like, you know the curd formation? How curd is formed? First of all, we take the milk, boiled milk, and we put some inoculum, or we can say the substrate, which is like previous curd. We put in some curd and leave for a one night, and in morning there is a formation of the curd. Okay, so that's called the joran. In local language, that's called the joran. Understood? Are you understanding, guys? You know the curd formation. Okay, so you are putting something on the milk. Suppose this is a template. So bone formation also need template. Okay, write down bone formation. Bone formation need templates. Now the question is, who will going to provide the template? Who will going to provide the template? Here there is no any curd. Okay, who will give the template? The template will given by the two things. First of all, your cartilage. Cartilage. Okay, and another is your fibrous tissue, or we can say hyaline tissue. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? Any doubt? No. See, as I said, bone formation need templates. Bone formation need templates, okay? And this template is provided by your cartilage, okay, and your hyaline tissue. And you know that cartilage is formed by the stem cell. Which stem cell? Mesenchymal stem cell. Understood? Mesenchymal stem cell. Mesenchymal stem cell. These mesenchymal stem cell, they will form cartilage, okay? They will first form the we can say the chondroblast and osteoblast, okay? It depends upon the gene expression. It depends upon the gene expression, that gene is coding for which protein. Gene is coding for which protein. If it's code for the chondrocytes protein, then there is a formation of chondroblast, and if it's code for the, we can say the osteotic cells, then there is a formation of osteoblast. So here is a coding for the cartilage formation, or basically we send the chondroblast. Okay, there is a coding for the chondroblast. Now you are seeing that bone is formed either by the help of cartilage template, or either it will form by the hyaline tissue. It means there is a two mode of bone formation. There is a two mode of bone formation. So I told the type of bone formation. The first type will be formed by the help of cartilage, understanding? Second type will be formed from the hyaline tissue. The bone which is formed by the cartilage, which forms with the help of cartilage, those bones formation is called intrachondrial ossification. Intrachondrial ossification, understanding? Intrachondrial ossification. And the bone which is formed by the help of hyaline cartilage, it is called as intramembranous ossification. Okay, write down. Endochondrial ossification. Okay, are we able to see this? Endochondrial ossification, it's visible to you, okay? And the bone which is formed by the hyaline tissue, it's called the intramembranous ossification. Intramembranous ossification. Ossification. Understood? Write down this. Written? Now we will move ahead and just describe that why bone ossification and bone remodeling is two different things. You written this? It's intramembranous. Yeah. intramembranous ossification. Okay. Written. Now come to the point. We will already discuss the introductory part. Okay. Now come to the difference between the ossification and remodeling. Okay. Now I want to ask you from you, what is the mean, since you now understood about the bone ossification or osteogenesis. Okay. Now can you tell me what is the difference between the bone ossification and bone remodeling? Anyone? Yeah. Bone remodeling. Yeah, tell. Yeah. Yeah, he is saying that bone ossification is a formation of bone, okay, and bone remodeling is basically we can say happened during the fracture time, okay, and some other abnormality. You are like closely right answer. It's not exact right answer. It's a closely right answer. Okay. Now bone ossification, as you are seeing, it's a formation of bone starting from your intrauterine life. Starting from your intrauterine life. Okay. The first difference is this: it started in the intrauterine life, okay, and bone remodeling is after the birth. Okay, after the birth. That's the first fundamental difference. Okay. Now second thing, bone ossification started in the intrauterine life. It started in the second week of the pregnancy. Write down. It started, bone ossification started in the second week of pregnancy. It started in the second week of pregnancy. Okay. Now started in the second week of the pregnancy and terminate, or we can say and terminate at the age of 25. At the age of 25. Okay, at the age of 25. Written. Now see here. First, the bone ossification started in your intrauterine life, okay, till the 25 year of age. Till the 25 year of age. That's the first aspect. Now, bone ossification and remodeling. Bone ossification and remodeling. In general terms, it's a interconvertible. It's a interconvertible. Means we can use bone ossification after the birth. I am talking about the story after the birth. Okay, you can say, oh, okay, it's a bone ossification, or you can say it's a bone remodeling. In the bone remodeling, there is a sometime what happened in the bone. There is a mineralization, settlement of, we can say, the matrix, formation of the matrix. So sometimes what happened, these minerals, they are deposited over in amount. Okay, so there is a need for giving the proper model of the bone, because you know, if bones is not formed, okay, bone is not formed in their anatomical, we can say, structure, then there is a chances for fracture. Okay, or we can say if the bone is not aligned properly, if there is no any proper alignment in the bone is become fragile. It's become prone towards the fracture as well as the infection. Okay, if you really remembered about the previous lecture, you know that in the microscopic structure of the bone there is a one artery called nutrient artery, okay, which supplies the blood basically to the bone marrow and the rest part of the bone Okay, just roughly I am showing you. Suppose this is one bone, okay, and as I said, it's a medullary canal where your bone marrow is present, okay, and it is lined by the endosteal layer, and periosteal layer is present, okay, above the bone, or we can say all over the bone. Okay, we define it is the epiphyseal region. Okay, then there in the children there is the presence of also the metaphyseal region where there is a growth plate. Okay, growth plate we discussed, and we seen that there is a blood supply. Okay, sometime what happened, there are some bacteria, basically the staphylococcus bacteria. Do you heard about the staphylococcus? Staphylococcus, causing agent of the pneumonia. Not heard? Okay. This Staphylococcus is a bacteria. Understood? First of all, it's a bacteria. Okay, commonly associated with the pneumonial infection. Commonly associated with the pneumonial infection. Okay, it's a causative agent for the pneumonia. Understood? Sometime what happened in the circulation? This bacteria travels along the nutrient artery. Okay, this bacteria traveled along the nutrient artery, or we can say via the nutrient artery. They come into this area, and there is a blood supply, we can say pinhole, a special type of blood supply, okay, to the other parts like periosteal. There is also a periosteal artery which supply the periosteum. Okay, there is some metaphyseal artery which supply the metaphyseal region of the bone. Understanding? Now what happened, a bacteria comes and they will reside here in the growth plate area. Okay, and there is a pus formation. Staphylococcus bacteria are basically the pus forming bacteria. Okay, so bone will dilate due to the pus accumulation, or we can say the abscess formation. Okay, and there is a inflammation in the bone and bone marrow. There is inflammation in the bone and bone marrow. This condition is called osteomyelitis. Write down, it is in your blueprint. Osteomyelitis. Okay, you need a spelling. Osteomyelitis. Okay, osteo means bone, the myeloid word denotes bone marrow, and itis means inflammation. So it's basically the inflammation of bone and bone marrow. Osteomyelitis. Okay, osteomyelitis, inflammation of bone and bone marrow. Understanding? Now we are dealing with the remodeling of the bone. Okay, we are dealing with the remodeling of the bone as well as the bone ossification. We defined that remodeling is something else and bone ossification is different. Okay, but after the birth these two words are interconvertible. Okay, these two words are interconvertible. Understanding? Now once you understand the meaning of bone ossification and bone remodeling, now it's time to discuss about the type of bone formation. As I told, bone formation need template. Okay, and this template is either given by the cartilage or either by the hyaline cartilage. So the one who is giving the cartilage, this type of bone ossification is called endochondral ossification. Understanding? And those bone which is formed directly by the hyaline tissue, it's called the intramembranous ossification. Till here any doubt? Clear? Okay, now we move ahead and describe the first type of bone ossification, or we can say osteogenesis. Bone osteogenesis. Bone osteogenesis. Okay, now the first process we will discuss is endochondral ossification. Endochondral ossification. The thing you have to remember here is that here there is a formation of bone. There is a formation of bone by the help of cartilage. Okay, write down. Process of bone formation by cartilage. Write down. Written? Written? Okay. Now we will study this classification systematically. As I said you previously that there is something called mesenchymal cell. Okay? There is a mesenchymal cell. And you know, cell possesses a membrane bound organelle that's called the nucleus. Okay? Nucleus is a brain of cell. Always remember, nucleus is a brain of cell. Nucleus is the one who is directing the cell to perform their function. Okay, to perform their function. Understanding? Now, so there is a mesenchymal cell. There is a mesenchymal cell. These mesenchymal cell form first the cartilage. It's from the cartilage. Okay. These are the cartilage, okay, or we can say premature bone. It's a premature bone, okay. And you know that this mesenchymal cell, when they start differentiating, they form the chondroblast. They form the chondroblast, okay. So basically, these are your chondroblast. Okay, there is a formation of chondroblast. Now, these chondroblasts, they will start aggregating. They will start aggregating on this area, and this area is known as diaphysis. This area is known as, this shaft is known as diaphysis. Remember? So these chondriocytes, they will aggregate in the diaphysial area. They will aggregate in the diaphysial area. This is your premature form bone, okay, and here in your diaphysial area they start forming the cluster. Okay, cluster is basically the group. Okay, which group? Chondroblast group. Chondroblast group. Understanding? Once they formed these chondroblast and aggregate, they start, we can say, shrinking. They start shrinking, or basically we can say in biological language we are saying it's a hypertrophy of chondroblast. Okay, sorry, it's a hypertrophy. It's a hypertrophy of chondroblast. Hypertrophy of chondroblast. Write down. Hypertrophy of chondroblast. Let me summarize it once again. You have a stem cell, a kind of a stem cell that's called the mesenchymal stem cell. It will differentiate and proliferate and form the chondroblast. Okay, form the chondroblast, a cartilage forming cell. Okay, a cartilage forming cell. It form the cartilage. Okay, and once they form the cartilage, they will aggregate on diaphysial area and become hypertrophic. Understanding? Become the hypertrophic. Then what happened? These hypertrophic chondroblast cells, they secrete a matrix. And form the primary ossification center. Now what happened? This aggregation of chondroblast, they form the primary ossification center. Write down. They form the primary ossification center. It's a primary ossification center. Understanding? It's a primary ossification center. Okay. Now, once it's formed the primary ossification center, it secretes the extracellular matrix, okay, extracellular matrix, and it will eventually transfer to the epiphyseal area. The primary ossification center, once they formed, we can say the bone or mineralize this part, the diaphyseal part, they will transfer to the epiphyseal part. They will transfer to the epiphyseal part. Are you not understanding? Not understanding? Not understanding? See. First, what happened? There is a chondroblast. They start forming the cartilage, okay, in the outer surface. Understanding? Then it will move ahead and constrict themselves, or we can say aggregate, concentrate in this area, in the, we can say, the diaphyseal area. Then eventually they secrete the matrix, and this matrix is denoted by the primary ossification center. Understanding? Now, there is a need for also the ossification of this part, epiphyseal part. Okay. So once they mineralized, we are basically mineralized. Okay, deposition of what? Calcium. Mainly the calcium? No, mainly the calcium. So once they mineralize this part, they move ahead. Okay, and form the secondary ossification center here. Secondary ossification center. This is already ossified. Okay, this is already ossified by the minerals. And now this area is, we are saying, mineralized. These areas start mineralizing. Understanding? Understanding? This is called the secondary ossification center. Write down. This is called secondary ossification center. Understanding? Understanding? Any doubt till here? No? Shall we move ahead? Now, once we can say basically the calcified this area or mineralized this area, now there is a need for the blood circulation. No, there is a need for the blood circulation. So now our bone will get the blood supply. They will get the newly formed bone. They will get the blood supply. Okay. Now this area is called as epiphysis. Epiphysis, I written like E. Okay. This is your growth plate, or we can say the metaphyseal region. Okay. This shaft denotes diaphysis. Very good. The shaft denotes diaphysis. Understanding? And again, this is a growth plate, metaphyseal area. Okay, and this is your epiphysis. Okay, any doubt? No. Now, as I said, it need now the blood supply. It need now the blood supply. As I told you that The artery which supplying the medullary region of the bone. Medullary region of the bone. This artery is called nutrient artery, okay? But there are other artery as well which directly supplying your epiphysis, okay? Directly supplying your epiphysis. These arteries are called epiphyseal arteries, simple. These arteries are called epiphyseal artery, okay? These arteries are basically called the epiphyseal artery. So by this there is a formation of bone. Any doubt? You understood? You understood? Shall we repeat once again? Repeat? Okay. We are discussing the first type of bone ossification. That's called the endochondral ossification. The name itself is denoting that it is formed by the help of cartilages, okay? And you know, cartilage itself is formed by the chondroblast. Chondroblast, understanding? And chondroblast is formed by the stem cell. Which stem cell? Mesenchymal stem cell. Understanding? Now, this mesenchymal stem cell, they will proliferate and form the chondroblast. Chondroblast start the bone formation. They first appear on the outer surface, okay? Then eventually they will aggregate, or we can say there is a cluster of osteoblast in the diaphyseal area. They start secreting the minerals, okay? They start secreting the minerals. Once they secrete the minerals, they will form the diaphyseal area, or we can say basically the compact bone formation, okay? They form the compact bone. Then this area they are called primary ossification center. Okay, the first ossification started where? The diaphyseal area. So they are the primary center for bone formation. So they are known as primary ossification center. Then these centers, they will migrate on the both the end, distal end, and they are known as the secondary ossification center. Once they form, mineralize those parts, then there is a need for the blood supply, and there will be the blood supply. The bone is alive, fully formed bone. Understanding? You have any doubt? No? Now, write few things about the endochondral ossification. Right? Okay, wait, first understand. You know that these minerals, as I said, these minerals are basically the collagen proteoglycan. Collagen is a protein. Collagen is a protein, okay? So this matrix, chemically, they are a collagen proteoglycan. Collagen proteoglycan. This matrix, the fundamental aspect, or we can say the function of this matrix is that it will bind with the calcium. It will bind with the calcium, and once the calcium will bind, there is a formation of hard matrix. There is a formation of hard matrix. Understanding? Understanding? See, generally we can say the cartilage, they have the soft pliable matrix. They have a pliable or soft flexible matrix, okay, due to the chondrions. So this chondroblast, they are secreting basically the chondrion, which is the collagen proteoglycan. Okay, this chondrion, as I said you previously, chemically they are what? They are a collagen proteoglycan, okay, collagen plus carbohydrate derivative. These matrix, they will bind with the calcium and harden the matrix. They harden the matrix. That's why the bone matrix is hard. As compared to the cartilages, bone matrix is a hard matrix. Understanding? No problem? Now, once you understand the endocardial ossification, we will move ahead and discuss the another class of ossification, and that is called the intramembranous ossification. That is called the intramembranous ossification. Understanding? Now, the intramembranous ossification, this process, as I told you, there is a formation of bone from the hyaline tissue, or we can say the fiber. Okay, hyaline fiber or tissue. From the help of hyaline tissue or hyaline fiber, there will be a formation of bone. Okay, so the second class of bone which we are discussing is called, very good, intramembranous ossification. Is it difficult to understand? The bone ossification is difficult to understand? Yes or no? It's easy to understand? Okay. Now, second class of bone formation, that's called the intramembranous. Now, here there is a no any, we can say intermediate, no intermediate. In the previous, the endochondrial bone ossification, we seen, okay, first there is a formation of what? There is a formation of chondroblast, means cartilage is in intermediate. See, first there is a cartilage, in the previous cartilage, okay, and then there is a matrix formation, okay, and then there will be a bone formation. So basically the cartilage are the intermediate, okay, but the fundamental difference between the endochondrial ossification and intramembranous ossification is that here in the intramembranous ossification there is no need to form the cartilage. There is no need to form the cartilage, but in the case of intrachondrial there is a need for cartilage as a template. There is a need for cartilage as a template. Understanding? So write down. This is a direct mode of bone ossification. Am I right? Direct mode of bone ossification. There is no any intermediate. So this time the mesenchymal cell have to express not the chondroblast. Which blast? Osteoblast. Understanding? Now, the osteochondroprogenitor cell, okay, basically your mesenchymal cell. The mesenchymal cell, I am writing mesenchymal cell is M. They will form the osteoprogenitor. Osteoprogenitor cell. Progenitor means the one who is involved in the, we can say, formation. Okay, progenitor, it's like a father, progenitor. Osteoprogenitor means simple, it will form which cell? The osteoblast. And as you know that osteoblast is basically the bone forming cell. It's a bone forming cell. Write down this flow chart. Okay, understanding? Written? Shall we move ahead? Okay, so the direct mode of ossification, you understood why direct mode of, because there is no any involvement of the, we can say, chondroblast. Okay, now are you understanding? Okay, now come to the other point. These osteoprogenitor cell, when they form the osteoblast, okay, simple, see, mesenchymal cell is a father of osteoprogenitor cell, okay, and osteoprogenitor cell is the father of osteoblast. Means, who is the grandfather of osteoblast? Who is the grandfather? This mesenchymal cell, okay. So this osteoblast, okay, they will secrete osteoid. It's basically a bone minerals. It is a bone minerals. Same, those proteoglycans, those collagen proteoglycans. Now they secrete the bone, they secrete osteoblast, they secrete the osteoid. Osteoid is basically the bone matrix, okay. Chemically they are collagen proteoglycan. Chemically they are the collagen proteoglycan, okay. They will bind with the calcium ion, and make the bone matrix hard. It make the bone matrix hard. Understanding till here? No any problem? No problem? Okay. Osteoblast secrete the osteoids. It's basically the bone minerals, okay, and these chemically they are a collagen proteoglycan. They will combine with the calcium, okay, and becoming the hard. If this matrix become hard, means these osteoblasts will be trapped. वो जाल में फंस गए, they will trapped. Understanding? They will trap. Now, once they will trap, the matrix is formed. Eventually, they form the another cell. The osteoblast transformed into the osteocyte. They form the osteocytes, and you know, osteocyte is a central cell. It's a main cell. Okay, master cell, very good. It's a master cell. It will generate the signals. It give the work for the also osteoblast, and another cell is called the osteoclast, bone eating cell, bone mineral eating cell. Okay, so that's how the bone is formed in the case of intramembranous ossification. Are you able to understand this? Any doubt? No. Okay, and after that, after the formation of the osteocyte, there will be the invasion of blood supply. Okay, blood supply is needed, so there will be the blood supply. Write down the next step. There is a blood supply. Okay, understanding? Any problem? No. Now, once you understand the development type, now it's point to discuss the pathophysiology of bone. Okay, pathophysiology of the bone. Some of you are already aware about some of the diseases related with the bone. Can you name them? Any disease which is related with the bone? One disease I already discussed, osteomyelitis, inflammation of bone and bone marrow. Any other? What? Osteoporosis, very good. The one disease, as you said, is the osteoporosis. Okay, another disease? Why you are not telling vitamin D deficiency? Vitamin D deficiency lead to? Vitamin D deficiency lead to which condition? Deficiency of vitamin D. Rickets. Who's still rickets? You. Very good. Awesome. Excellent. It's a rickets. Very good. But my friend, rickets happens in the child. It's happen in the child. And if vitamin D deficiency occur in the adult, what it is called? Anyone? Do you heard about osteomalacia? Osteomalacia? No? Okay. It's a osteomalacia. See, when vitamin deficiency, which vitamin? Vitamin D. Okay? It can ask in MCQ. It will ask in MCQ. Okay? So give attention here. When vitamin D deficiency happen in the childhood stage, it lead to the rickets. It lead to the rickets. And when it happen into the adults, okay, as we all are adults, this condition is called osteomalacia. Osteomalacia. Understanding? Then one disease, inflammatory condition of the bone and bone marrow, as we discussed, is osteomyelitis. Osteomyelitis. Okay? Understanding? And there will be one hormonal disease, excessive secretion of growth hormone. What? Very good. Acromegaly. Acromegaly. Okay? So they are the some sort of, we can say, the pathophysiological condition of the bone, okay, which you have to keep in your mind, understanding? Now, yeah, last, acromegaly. नहीं समझ में आया ना? I will tell you. See, one by one I will tell you. Osteoporosis is basically a age-related problem. It's basically a age-related problem. Okay, age-related problem, or we can say the hypermineralized. See, there is a degeneration of minerals in the bone. It will mainly after the women's stop their menstrual cycle. That condition is called menopause. Okay, so these conditions will appear. Okay, so this is basically a degenerative disease. Understanding? Or you need better clarification, more clarification? Okay? Now, rickets. It's basically the deficiency of vitamin D. Write down. Deficiency of vitamin D. It lead to the softening of bone and what? Cartilage. Okay? Bone and cartilage. It lead to the softening. Means the bone which is formed, there is a deficiency of vitamin D, and you will know, I don't know, you don't know, that the vitamin D is basically involved in the metabolism of calcium. Okay? So since it is a deficiency of vitamin D that lead to the deficiency of calcium deposition, means the bones is not become hard. It's like a softened. So it's prone towards the fracture. Okay? That condition is called the rickets. Now, if it's happened in the adults, the condition is called osteomalacia. Understanding? And osteomyelitis, as we understood, it's a happened due to some of the pyogenic or pus-forming bacteria. The wonderful example is our Staphylococcus. Understanding? Staphylococcus. This is basically the inflammation of bone and bone marrow, both. Write down. Bone and bone marrow. Understanding? Due to the bacteria. Primarily which bacteria? Staphylococcus. This lead to the inflammation of bone marrow and the bone. Understanding? Any doubt? Now I'll come to your question. Acromegaly. Acromegaly is basically the problem. It's basically a hormonal disease. It's basically a endocrine disease. It's a endocrine disease. Okay. Now, as you know that the growth hormone is secreted by your anterior pituitary. Am I right? It's secreted by your anterior pituitary. So sometime what happen, there will be a abnormal, we can say, cell proliferation and cell differentiation of the anterior pituitary cells. That lead to what? Cancer or tumor formation. What is cancer? What is cancer? It's basically a abnormal growth of cell. Okay. Remember one thing, that in our body, the cell division and cell differentiation both are needed. Cell division and cell differentiation both are needed. Only division, okay, will not constitute a good, we can say, that cell or a body. Cell need to differentiate. Cell need to differentiate in order to form the tissue or the organ. Okay, so sometimes what happens, cell loses the capacity to differentiate. They only replicate. Abnormal replication, they lead to the formation of tumor. They lead to the formation of tumor. Understanding? There is a formation of tumor. So adrenal tumor can lead to the secretion of too much growth hormone. Can lead to the secretion of too much growth hormone. As you know that the growth hormone is responsible for the growth of the body. Growth hormone is responsible for the growth of the body. Okay. The growth hormone also affect the bone ossification. Growth hormone also affect the bone ossification, or we can say the growth hormone, the one by which there is a formation of bone happens. There is a formation of bone happens by the help of growth hormone. See here, this is your growth hormone. This is secreted by the anterior pituitary. Okay. If there will be a tumor formation in the, we can say, the anterior pituitary, there will be a hypersecretion. There will be a hypersecretion or too much secretion of the growth hormone. Growth hormone is basically the anabolic hormone. It's basically the anabolic action. Anabolic means what? Anabolic means it's lead to, you know, the metabolism. Entire chemical reaction which is occurring in our body, they are called as metabolism. They are called as the metabolism. Okay. And the metabolism are two types, either a breakdown or a synthetic. Those reactions which are involved in the breakdown, they are called as the catabolism. They are known as a catabolism. Okay. And those which are involved in the synthesis or a formation, they are called the anabolic. So growth hormone is not a catabolic, it's a anabolic hormone. It's a anabolic hormone. It lead to the too much growth. And that condition is called acromegaly. That condition is called the acromegaly. Understood? Have any doubt? Feel free to ask. Have any doubt? No? Okay. Now, we discussed this, some of the diseases, some of the pathophysiology. Now it's time to conclude our class. So in today's class, we discussed about primarily the bone ossification, okay, also known as osteogenesis, okay. Primarily, it's the two types. The first type is called endochondral ossification. Second type is called intramembranous ossification. The difference is that in the endochondral ossification, there will be an intermediate formation. That's a this cartilage will transform into the bone. Whereas in the case of membranous ossification, or we can say intramembranous ossification, there will be directly from the osteoprogenitor cell to directly change into the transform into the osteoblasts. blast, okay, which secrete a one kind of matrix by the osteoids, okay, by the osteoids, and eventually they trapped into the osteoids, and these osteoblasts they change into the osteocyte, okay, and there is a formation of the bone. Understanding? Then we seen the difference between the bone ossification and remodeling. Bone ossification is started in the intrauterine life, okay. More specifically we are saying it started in the sixth week, 2 to 6 week of pregnancy, okay, till the 25 year of the age. Understanding? Then the remodeling is basically thus providing the proper alignment shape of the bone throughout the life. See, bone of ossification will ceased in the 25 year of age due to the fusion of growth plate to the epiphyseal plate, okay. The growth plate will be disappear. Understanding? But remodeling will be goes throughout your lifespan, okay. Then we understood some of the pathophysiology, the osteoporosis, rickets, osteomyelitis, osteomalacia, and acromegaly. You have any doubt? No? Okay, thank you for having me. Have a nice night. Bye.